Hello there, I'm Gary Foster and welcome to episode 41 of What Price Victory. And today's video sees an Asian Champions League Group F doubleheader with Melbourne Victory away to Okayama from the Japanese J-League, and at home to Guangzhou, who we have a little bit of history with. They're from the Chinese Super League. As you can see from the table there, Melbourne Victory are now 7 points in front, with Wanderers and Melbourne City. They actually had a draw during the week, and Victory ended up with a comprehensive 4-1 win over Brisbane Roar, which featured a first half hat-trick to Brandon Skiri. We'll just go quickly through those goals. There's Italiano with the corner. Barnett flicked it back out to Italiano, and Skiri with a deft little touch on the near post. Metcalf was instrumental in his second goal. A nice little through ball, and Skiri with good finishing. Lawton again on the ball. Grant, who's came up from right back. A bit of interplay, gets the ball into Metcalf, and Metcalf was again the provider for Skiri to complete his first half hat-trick. Raw then did come back at us into the box, and poor marking, a little bit shoddy in defence there, gave Brisbane a bit of a sniff, but didn't last for long with Teague on the ball, through to Italiano coming in from the wing, and he was able to slot that home. So that put us comfortably on top of the A-League. As I said, we're now away to Okayama with the first round of the Asian Cup. So looking at a relatively unchanged squad, hard to drop Skiri after that goal-scoring performance. But we've got Gus Williamson, who is unregistered for this particular tournament, and I'm also looking at, need to pull in our new gen. I'll give Steve Prosser, another one of our young'uns in the from the under-16. So we'll give him a chance to impress. I'll go to the match. We're going in with a balanced mentality this time, and I've also dropped our defensive line a little bit deeper. So media, pundits, let's just see if they can show me what you can do. Ideally a win, but certainly would take a draw. I'm not sure how Okayama are situated. I know they're not a regular J-League team. They may have come up recently from the J2 League, which is their second division. So yeah, really not quite sure what's in store for us in this game. But there we have Skiri, after 4 minutes, rises unchallenged to put us 1-0 up. So quite a surprise, but good corner by Italiano. Interesting way that I've got, there's 5 people lurking around the penalty area for corners, which is not the way I've got things set up. Okay, so long ball up to Grant, who nods it into Lawton, but Grant then needing to get back to take up defensive duties, and through ball to Okayama, but good stop from Collette, who's actually acquitted himself quite well, deputising for Demetriou. Anyway, to defend a corner. No, thought there might have been a touch in the middle there, but the boys escaped. Okay, so Dendonka, number of options out wide. Grant. Okay, cross ball, I wouldn't have done that, but more in favour of putting it up to Lawton. Lawton's still unmarked out there, and here he is. Being closed down now, so if he can make a bit of space for himself, coming into traffic, but switches the ball to Italiano. Is he going to jink inside? Yeah, squares it up to Barnett. Too many blue shirts there, but Italiano, who was in a ton of space there, he could have maybe hooked it into that far post, but not to be. Still 1-0 to the good guys, so we'll give them a little bit of encouragement. Okay, so free kick. So Italiano, I think, will be the taker. It goes near post, but yeah, never really threatened the goal. Okay. So Dendonka come out to play with the ball. Out to Lawton. He puts it through. Skiri can run onto this. He's challenged, but brings out a good save from the keeper. Italiano, I thought I had a right-footed player over there on, a left-footed player over on that side, but a little bit of a skirmish for the ball there. Okay. It's like Hanoi. I assume that's supposed to be Hanoi FC, and Guangzhou currently drawing. So checked, was Bagulio checked? And there's a penalty. Okay, Connor Metcalf to take the penalty. Bottom left. Bottom left? No, bottom right. Okay, so 2-0. 2-0 up halfway through the first half is quite a good start. We don't need to see the penalty again. If that Guangzhou and Hanoi, if they keep the draw, we can take an early charge in our group. But there, poor ball back from, I think it was Italiano, puts us under the pump a little bit. We seem to have dark blue shirts back. And Dendonka sweeping up. Nishikawa, who's been the subject of an approach from someone from the K-League, but he's not listed or anything like that, and basically only gave me his value, or offered his value. Skiri on the ball, and emphatically finishes that. So it looks like Skiri is going to have a season to remember if he keeps at this goal scoring rate. So yeah, so Baculio to Metcalf with a good ball. Yeah, and Skiri from the edge of the box. Not quite sure what the Okayama boys were doing there. A little bit of ball watching perhaps, and didn't see the run. So 3-0 up, and quite happy with the way that we're playing. So defending a corner, and good save by Colette, and cleared by our defence. So clean sheet to half time would be ideal. Trouble is 3-0 up. We don't want to get complacent. So 3 points is the object at the end of the game. So the Okayama stats there, really not of great performance. Melbourne Victory stats, yeah, Skiri, the obviously the standout performer with all the attacking players playing well. So we'll do a little bit of encouragement. Now maybe be assertive because I want them to keep it going. I'm pleased, not delighted. Well, secretly speaking, I am delighted, but 45 minutes to go. Anything can turn around. Italiano. Ooh, Peculio, who came up from the back. So I'll be looking at fitness levels now. So Skiri would probably have his cranky pants on if he was pulled off and I didn't give him a hat trick. But looking at Italiano, yeah, we can do that now. I think we can also. We are slowing it down. We can be a little bit more disciplined. Play for set pieces. Just slow it down a little bit. Maybe we can start to time waste. Barnett. No, he can come off. But I'm also looking at maybe Italiano or Lawton coming off as well. And maybe Laurie Latanzio for Lawton. It's Skiri on the ball. Pushes it all the way back to Kurta. Puts it through to Grant, who's up from the back. It's closed down by two players, but still gets the ball across. No blue shirt. Okay, now I hope Grant can get back. He doesn't have to, but cut out by Italiano. Now, there's options there. Ooh, okay. Wouldn't have really recommended that, but it was a lot closer than what I thought it'd be. So that's okay. No damage on the scoreboard, and the Guangzhou have gone ahead of Hanoi. Okay, so first sub, looks like Teague is also running out of petrol. And not really the options there that I wanted. I haven't really done these substitutions as cleverly as what I had thought. Okay, not ideal. Having Barnett on. Just might push Dendonka up. And do the and I'll put him on support duties. So not really, it's not really seen as a defensive manoeuvre, but I just want to do a little bit of player respite. So not quite sure. Oh, he did get it. Laurie Latanzio did get it and is able to get it forward to no one in particular, but Lawton brings it under control. Is that Grant up there? Metcalf down to Skiri, and here's his hat trick. 14th goal of the season. It's going to be hard to take the player of the match performance off him. So Brandon having a day out. So yeah, so Lawton got the ball, chipped it down, knotted down by Metcalf, who was unmarked, to Skiri, who was unmarked, and quite an easy finish from probably 10 or 12 out. Tied offside? I didn't think so, because the Yokohama, they've been playing with a very zigzag defensive line, so they've been made to pay the price. So Okay, so no harm, no foul, guys. We want to even turn it down now. We can be a little bit more cautious. Launched in, and probably the only one of the rare chances in anger that Okayama have had. Oh, Hanoi with a goal back. So Guangzhou. So hopefully that has stayed the same. So as you can see, an emphatic win to the Victory. I thought, I wasn't expecting such a commanding performance, but we'll all have to give them a cuddle for that. Good win, well done. And Hanoi have had a draw against Guangzhou. I thought Hanoi would be the whipping boys of this comp, or certainly the lowest ranked team anyway. Okay, so if we just go to continue. Barnett's injured, we get some money, and a little bit of admin to do. But with this schedule, but look, I'll play the Melbourne City game offline, and we'll come back for the very important game against Guangzhou. So let me go and do a little bit of admin, and we'll be back. Okay, so here we are for the very important game for Melbourne Victory against Guangzhou in this Asian Champions League Group F game. In between Asian Cup games, we've played a Melbourne Derby game against Melbourne City, and an early goal from Jacob Italiano was enough to get us the 3 points. He scored quite early. There was an expectation that he may have scored another couple of goals with the chances that he had, but 1-0 was enough to get the 3 points. But a bit of ricochet rabbit, but Italiano was the first to react. So jabbed it in from halfway. Sorry, not halfway, but near the in the goal box. Okay, so we'll go to the tactical meeting. A number of changes coming in. Kurta and Metcalf will be swapping games during the swapping positions during the game. I'm also thinking that I might bring on Ryan Grant. He can play DM as well. I'm just toying with the idea. I'm just dropping the midfield back into with a defensive midfielder for this particular game, because I've got a feeling, whoops, that there's going to be the winner of this will probably win the group. So it's very important for Victory to get the 3 points. And I think, although it may be seen as a defensive move at home, we've played with this formation before, so I'm not expecting any real surprises. Apologies for the dull thudding of I'm using old school mouse to get me through this game. But yeah, I also neglected to go through the team, but it was a rather familiar looking team. So Guangzhou on the attack early, but Ansel clears to Italiano, who's got a fair bit of space in front of him, although the red shirts are coming over. Gets a low cross through, and there's Lawton on the far post, but his shot's blocked. I was going to mention that Collette's stats have improved quite remarkably over the past few months. So whereas Dimitri was, I had no hesitation in signing him as a first choice keeper. He's now got a considerable bit of competition for his position now that he's been injured. And also too, the A-League transfer window has just opened, and a couple of clubs have been coming sniffing around. One for Nishikawa from Seoul FC, which I rejected outright, even though they offered his value. There we are, Italiano with a header gets victory into pole position in this group early on. Yeah, so the offer for Nishikawa wasn't great, considering he's such a young player and he's come up through the ranks. I think they only offered $20,000 for him, so I rejected that. And Adelaide City have come in with an offer for Brendan Skeary, which I told him to take a funny run, because I mean, there's no way in the world that I'm letting Skeary go, because he just renewed his contract during the close season, and he's been scoring better than a goal a game. So I'm not really quite sure why any of these players would want to leave, especially those in the squad. Right, Guangzhou trying to get back into the game. See, we're not marking as tightly as what I would like. Use that tighter marking as soon as we repel this attack, hopefully. Instructions: pass into space and play for set pieces, triple S. Yeah. Stay on feet, get stuck in. No, we don't want. We can turn that down and out of position. We'll just compress our defensive line a bit more. Now that might be, as I said, it might be seen as a more defensive move, but I said we've played with success with this formation before, and we have played with a deeper defensive line. And I do want to keep Guangzhou at bay. It's like Okayama have got a goal against Hanoi. Okay, so Kurta, unsurprisingly, his fitness is falling, but you should be able to get him through to half time, and ideally 10 or 15 minutes into the second half after he has a cup of tea and a biscuit. Oh, it's in Melbourne City. They're in action too in their group stage as well. So Brimmer, top of the box. Let's go with an absolute ripper. That is typical of Jake Brimmer. He doesn't like to run too far for his goal. So that's his second of the year. I'm not quite sure if he scored for us before or not. But yeah, thunderous drive from just outside the box. Okay, bit of breathing space going into half time. Guangzhou are shading us on XG. Just suppose with Brimmer's thunderbolt from the blue, it's unsurprising. So Melbourne Victory stats. Yeah, Nishikawa not playing as good as what I would hope. Do a little bit of pumping. Still room for improvement. Remember, we are playing with that deeper defensive line, so there is an expectation that they will be able to keep Guangzhou at bay. Okay, so I'll be looking at Kurta coming off. Well, he's played well. Deal was that Metcalf would come on in his place. Nishikawa. Another 10 minutes out of you, maybe. Markovic to come on. And Skiri will probably be the next substitution. Italiano is going to be on there for the long haul. And around about the 80th minute, I will... Ooh, under pressure. Laurie Latenzio on for Skiri. Italiano gets in behind the defenders. Skiri nods the ball in, and looks like his last touch will be putting the ball over the line for us. And Okayama putting Hanoi FC to the sword by the look of it. So this goal here from Skiri, as he waves farewell to the adoring crowd. He wasn't offside, not offside by miles. Do I want to key? Yeah, I will make these tactical changes because Italiano and Lawton are also bottoming out. But I think I'll be resting those guys for the next game because they have had a heavy workload. Still 10 to go. Okay. Guangzhou, a lot of space, but header over the bar. It's Guao Latte seems to be giving us an untold bit of grief. Okay, do it. Across Laurie Latenzio with the header. Well done. Good to see Laurie Latenzio on the score sheet. Young Louis done well and taken his opportunity. He's only been on the field for a few minutes, so everybody's getting in on the action. Good header. Yeah, I'm thinking that Italiano and Lawton might be rested, so I've still got Burkic, who really hasn't featured terribly much this year at all. He's our lone player. So after 4-0, I'm thinking that I'd like to just keep it injury free for the next few minutes. Shouldn't be much more than 5 to go at 4-0. Feeling reasonably confident. They're letting this guy run a little bit too much. Yeah, just more concerned about the players who are running on empty. So yeah, with that win by Okayama and this defeat to Guangzhou, that puts the pressure on them a little bit. So go into the dressing room, give them all a cuddle. Very pleased with the result and the performance. So that puts us in control to a certain extent with our group qualifying. Obviously, the next game coming up against Hanoi FC should consolidate our position at the top of the group. And as you can see there, Melbourne City They had a good win over a team called, what was it, April 25 Sports Group. Not sure where they're from. So having a look at our schedule, Adelaide United are our next game, and Hanoi FC home in the Champions League game. So I'm Gary Foster. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching What Price Victory, and we'll catch up with you shortly. All the best now.